Hello. Just give me 1 second here while I try to figure out what I'm doing. You kind of snuck up on me. Just give me a sec. Yeah, hi, Brenda, Janine, and Brenda. Nice to see everyone. I have no idea what I'm doing here. I'm trying to figure out. It's been so long. Hi, Gladys. It's been so long since I've done this that I can't remember what I'm doing. And it automatically, I press a button and it goes live, and I'm not ready. And I just want to make sure that everybody can hear me. And I'm just going to mute this. It's not saying subscribers only. And I have it set up like that, but hi, Carrie. How you doing? Hope you're doing well today, and hope Lil is doing good. Okay, good. And the picture quality is good? Good. And you should, up in the left-hand corner, you should see the desk. Hi, Nana Mona. Happy Easter to you too and your family. Yeah, I'm going to my daughter's place for Easter dinner on Sunday. Oh, does it? Okay, good. Thank you, Janine. On mine, it doesn't say that, and I don't know why. But just give me a second here while I try to get the chat and everything all set up. I can see some of it. Okay, good. You can see the desk view and me with my camera or my phone. Okay, so now I just need to just be able to see everything. Now, hopefully my phone won't mess things up here. And hopefully there's no feedback or anything. Good, 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 good. Okay. My computer is a bit slow and I've got two things going. And most of the time I can't. Carrie says she's walking and she's shopping at the same time. Oh, that sounds bad. Okay, now I just need to find out where I'm going. Okay. Just give me 1 sec. I've forgotten everything. Okay. And I can't read. Okay. Got that up on my screen now, and hopefully. Okay. I am going to switch now. I just need to switch over someplace. If I missed your comment, I'm sorry. No problem, Brenda. Thanks for stopping in. Thank you so much. Okay, thanks, Nana Mona. Is it cold there in Saskatchewan? Okay, now if I can remember what I'm doing here. Okay. There we go. I think I'm figuring it out now. Okay. Now it's giving me a message that I've got lagged frames, so if you see me lagging or whatever, just, I don't know why that is, because I haven't changed any settings, but it's really saying I'm lagging. Oh dear. Okay, well, we'll just carry on. If anybody sees any issues, just let me know. Like I said, this could be a disaster. Well, this says excellent. Oh yeah, we had a little bit of snow here today in Calgary, just sprinkling. But we've had such weird weather. It was really warm, and then all of a sudden it got cold. And okay, great, Janine. Thanks so much. It really helps when you give me feedback, because one thing says one thing and the other thing says another. Okay. So I'll try to keep an eye on everything, and if I notice anything, I'll ask you questions. Okay, so now I guess you want to see what I'm working on. I've been working on mini blocks, and I decided that I've got some Christmas fabrics, and I always get behind for the Christmas craft sale that my daughter and I go to. So I am going to just flip some things here. There. Now you should be able to see. It's Christmas block. It's called, the only name I could find about it was called No Name. And I created it so that I could do a 9.5-inch unfinished block. Kathy's Quilts and Crafts. How's the games going, Kathy? And Farm Wife. Oh my gracious, thanks everyone for joining, popping in. Go ahead and chat and everything. Like I said, I've been working on mini blocks. You can see them maybe in behind me there, but okay, I just need to, I got bad eyesight here. Just give me a minute here. I gotta get some. Okay, I think. Oh, I see something there that I need to change. I gotta give credit to everybody who does this and can just go through so smoothly. I think I can, hopefully I can get that chat big enough so I can read it. I think I got it. Yeah, the pattern I just found off of Pinterest, and actually this is the one that I created for the 9.5, and this one here is the mini block. Didn't quite pick the right colors for this one, but this is the mini block I made, and it's a 3.5-inch unfinished. I'm kind of liking this. And if anybody knows me, you know that I do everything foundation paper piecing. So you're going to see me do this all paper pieced. I create my own my own images and things like that in the Silhouette software. I have a Silhouette Cameo machine, and I found out I could do this on in my Silhouette software, so I can design or create a 3.5-inch block, and I can create a 9.5-inch block. And right now, what I have beside me is I have my colors picked out. This one's going to be with, instead of the green here, I'm going to be using red. And these are the stitching templates that I created in the software, and I used freezer paper. And I'm a terrible one for if I come across a problem, I gotta stop and see if I can fix it somehow. So the file that I created in the software, this one is 5 pages. This is hopefully going to be a table runner in the end. And this, it's not printed out really great, but I've sort of created images with the blocks in different colors. And then I've put sashing in between the red one and everything. And so I have sort of 4 different layouts that I can put together. Now, these are the files or the pages that I create, and it's just in a, what do you call them? It's kind of gone out of my head. Oh, thank you, Gladys. Thank you, Gladys, for posting Kathy's channel. Anyway, I create it in the software, and then I can change colors and everything. And I have stitching templates, and then I have pattern piece templates. And this is what I cut my fabrics with. So I have sort of a different way of doing my foundation paper piecing. And one of the issues that I ran into, because I use freezer paper, is that the freezer paper, Nanamona, no, it's called freezer paper, and it's plastic coated. Reynolds sells it, but Reynolds kitchen wrap and stuff like that, the Reynolds brand, but it's very hard to find. I use the, well, I guess it is kind of meat wrapping paper, but it's plastic coated. Just give me a sec here. This is messing up on me here. Okay. This one I got at Save On Foods. Whoops, I guess we could read the English side, right? Great, Gladys. Thanks for sharing your channel, too. I lost the top. Anyway, it is unbleached paper. Okay, it's superior for freezer burn, and it's ideal for wrapping meat, fish, and poultry. But you can't use it in the oven, but it is plastic coated. You need to make sure that you're getting plastic coated, otherwise it won't stick to your fabric. And I think freezer paper is one of the most useful things that I use in my piecing and doing whatever I do. I use freezer paper for everything. So I'm just going to go through and one of the issues, like I said, I had problems getting it through my printer. I tried glue stick, gluing the freezer paper onto, gluing the freezer paper, the shiny side, to a piece of just plain white paper. So, but that didn't work. Well, it did work at first until I ran out of the glue stick I was using. So what I had to do was find another solution. The glue stick that I bought wasn't sticking the freezer paper onto the piece of paper so I could put it through my machine. So I had to find a different way to get the freezer paper to stick. So what I did, I have, and I've had it for years, and I thought, this is called Aleene's Tack It Over and Over. And it says it's a liquid pressure sensitive adhesive. And you can put it on, it's a pressure sensitive liquid adhesive for a temporary bond. And you can use appliques over and over, sticks to most any surface, fabric, wool, paper, metal, glass. And you can put this on and it will make the surface tacky. Yeah, Nanomona, yeah, don't, if you're going to order from anywhere, it gets very expensive for the freezer paper. But anyway, what I did was I have, I don't know what I did with my other piece of paper. Maybe I took it off, but I had one. But all I did, and I used colored paper. And I took that product and I put it onto just a piece of ordinary colored paper. And I let it dry according to the instructions. And all I did was use Q-tip and just rubbed it along the edge of the bottom, because that's where most of the problems occur when putting freezer paper through your printer. And because I buy the freezer paper on big rolls, it has a tendency to curl. So I needed to find something that, rather than using glue stick, that would be permanent and I could reuse it again. So I just put it on the edges, and I made sure that I wasn't going to get any of the stickiness on the back of the paper. So on the sides of the paper, it's sticky. And I don't know whether you can see this one. And it might not show it, but you can see where I've put the glue, or the whatever this is. It's really not a glue because it comes off, or anything you put together, like even two pieces of paper together, even if they stick together, you can still take them apart. So I just put it around the edges, and then I just line it up so that the freezer paper, I stick it on like this, making sure that the edge of the freezer paper is lined up with the edge of the yellow piece of paper that has that tack it over and over on it, and then just smooth it down, and it sticks now, and it goes through my printer now, and it lays nice and flat, and I can put it through the freezer paper. My daughter did buy a roll of white online, and I'll have to check to see where she got it, because I asked her if I could borrow some just to do a test in my printer. The most inexpensive one I could find was of the freezer paper was through Save On Foods. And it was only $5 for a roll. But if you search for Reynolds brand, you're going to pay up to as much as $20. Yeah, for a roll for the same thing that I could buy at Save On Foods. Okay, so that's basically what I do. Now, the other thing that I do when I'm creating you can feel or hear the stickiness and it comes off, but the other thing I do is when I design or create, I call it create because I'm not really designing it, my pieces are grouped together, and I group them together according to the colors. And then I have a little white sheet that shows all the areas. This particular one has row A, row B, and the middle section is done in 2 parts. And then all the pieces are sort of grouped together. It all depends on how much I can fit on a piece of paper. Technical stuff. So when I put this onto my freezer paper, I know that if I cut out this section, that all of these pieces are going to be the same size. So I can just cut out that square, lay it on my fabric, and then iron it onto the right side of my fabric, and then just cut out the pieces. What size are they? I have no idea. When I designed them, I made them to be a little bit bigger than what I want, and the waist is minimal. And I find one of the advantages of doing it the way I do, I don't have to refer back to a pattern. I don't have to know what size I'm going to be needing. All I know is that when I put my fabric on there, that's the size of piece I need. And I never have to refer back to a pattern to see how I'm supposed to put it together. I just use this method, and the accuracy is absolutely amazing. Okay, so the other thing is when I do my put my designs or my pieces onto the freezer paper, when I do this, I also, rather than using a rotary cutter, and I'll just do a quick demonstration of that, and I'll use this one as a sample. Okay, I could use a rotary cutter to cut this out, but because I'm a card maker as well, and I do card making and work with paper crafts, I have a Fiskars, I don't know whether a trimmer, I guess it is. The one I use is the one that has the wire. There's a wire that runs right along the inside. So when I use my blade, the blade comes down and it cuts. You don't have to line up anything on there. Now the other thing is, on all my pieces I have up at the top here, it says no name block 9.5 inch unfinished. Well, we don't want to cut that off and throw it away. So now I'm going to line this up on the very top, and I'm lining that wire guide right up against the line. And you don't have to be accurate. That's another thing about freezer paper. You can leave a little bit of on the edge. So when I'm cutting things out, I cut the top off, which gives me the block I'm working on. And that's what I've done here. When I cut out my pieces, I saved the top part and I pressed it onto there just with my iron. And it'll come off. So when I make a block, and I'm not going to be using it right away, I can just press that on, and I know what block that was. And if I don't get around to making any more, at least I know what that is. So I always save these, and they go into the folder, and with the block or with my things, and I can use them over and over again. I've also left small distances in between each piece so that when I cut this with my cutter, it just cuts right down the center, and I'm not cutting out each individual piece. I can cut, and I have my pieces cut apart. The only thing is that what I have found, I'll tell you just right off the bat, is that if you have a very narrow edge, the cutter is a little finicky. So when I go to cut my pieces out, I have my wire lined up in between the two pieces, and I lift this up and then put it down. I don't start off the edge of the paper. I'll start in on the paper and cut it. And I don't throw away any of these pieces here, because if I do a miscut, all I do is take a piece of the freezer paper. If I cut this in half, and I shouldn't have, all I do is put the two pieces together on a piece of freezer paper, and I don't have to print anything out after. So that's my little spiel on paper pasting. Okay. So now what else can I show you what I do? I do a lot of weird things, but in the end, it saves me time. Now, I hate to say this, and I'll probably get some feedback on this, but doing the foundation paper piecing, I rarely have to use my seam ripper. And that's one of the advantages too. The way I work the way I create my things in the software is that I tried to find all the problems I had and figure out a way that I could make it almost foolproof, that even on a bad day I can come in here and sit and decide what I'm going to do. Yeah, some of this, it takes me a while to create the pieces that I'm going to be using, but in the long run, I make less mistakes. The odd time I do, but I've dwindled it down that I can do this without getting frustrated like I used to with the regular with the regular piecing. I still do regular piecing, it's just I do it just a little bit different. So now what I've done is I've decided that I'm going to use, instead of the green, this where I have the green in here, I'm going to switch it up. Hi, Nancy. Guess who, Nancy? Welcome. I'm going to substitute the red in here. And I have, now if you can just bear with me and I'll see if this will work. You're going to see a little something funny on your screen, but don't worry about it. I'll try to show you what it looks like when I decide what I'm going to do. So just give me 1 second here and we'll see if this is going to work. Okay. I just have to close something out here, and this is actually a good thing because, yep, there's the funny screen. Now you're going to see something here. And you should on your screen see Silhouette Studio Software or Silhouette Studio Business Edition. And I'm hoping you can see that. And here is here's what, when I'm designing and everything, it all kind of looks like a big mess here, but if I can just get this to work. Nope, it's not working for me. Oh, well, of course not. Because, oh, okay, maybe it's just taken a bit while here. You can see my cursor floating around there. There we go. Now we should get things moving. And so what I did was I went into my software and when I designed everything, this program is running a little bit slow. Okay, so here you can see the one on the bottom right is the one that I created. The colors aren't exact, but it gives me a visual of what I'm doing. And so I've made one with the fabric that I'm going to be using in the middle, and then I just changed up the outside colors. So that's sort of what I get a visual before I even go to my fabric and start cutting. Okay, so now I'm just going to close out of this and we'll go back to the desk. Just give me 1 second here. You're going to see that funny screen there. And I'll just close out of that. And there we are. Hi, I'm back. So that's, I've learned to do this all pretty much on my own because of the fact that I had problems figuring out colors, where colors should go. And so that's sort of it in a nutshell. So this one I created, and I just happened to have some fabric. Okay, you can't see what I'm doing. Let's try to get this. Okay, now it's saying that my stream health is not good. So we'll just have to figure out. Nancy, just give me a second. Are we experiencing any lag or anything? Because it looks like I'm getting a message, but I don't know whether it's causing any problems or not. I'm just going to, the program is Silhouette Studio, and it's for the Cameo 4 or Cameo cutting machine. I just got to figure out. Oh, okay, now we're back to excellent. Oh, great. Yeah, these messages pop up and then you kind of go, eek. Okay, so it is a program. The Thanks, Gladys. Thanks, Janine. The program itself, it costs $100. Now, I'm not sure if that's US or Canadian, but you don't pay anything other than the $100, and you've got it for lifetime. Any updates, upgrades, or whatever it is, you can start out with the basic edition. It doesn't cost you anything for the basic, it's free. When you upgrade, it gives you better options. You can even save a page as a PDF file. So it's for your money. It's an amazing program that I have found that helps me. It's not EQ8 by any means, but I've found workarounds that I can get it to kind of sort of work like EQ8. I'm still learning a lot of things that it can do. And the thing is that I can take any size or pick anything and make the size of block I want and not have to worry about other things. If you're not good with designing in certain softwares, it's probably a real learning curve. But the thing is that I also have a software program to design my own quilting and do embroidery. But that one cost me almost $3,000. And then they switched to a monthly. As soon as I bought it, they switched to a monthly thing. So now there's no updates, no upgrades, or anything like that. You have to pay like $50 a month to have that program. So that's why I think Silhouette software is a great option. The other thing is, I have learned just in the last little while that I can even take the images that I use or that I create in the software and actually draw my quilting designs on what I create in the software. And I do all my quilting on my sewing machine, and I do the in the hoop edge to edge quilting. But you know, if I was younger, I would probably go into some kind of thing that helps me with this technology, because they're always changing it. And so I spend a lot of time trying to learn it on my own. Nobody taught me anything. Nobody even showed me how to do it. I just got in there and did it. And I find that the software that I used for doing my quilting in the hoop is similar to what the Silhouette software is. And also the EQ8, it sort of does things for you instantly, where I have to sort of program it to do these things instantly. So it does take me a little bit of time. And if anybody wants, I'm trying to figure out how to do PDF files so that rather than doing separate PDF files, I can share the files I use to create the things that I do. I have the pages for printout exactly like what you'd get, for anything else. The only thing is there's no measurements. Absolutely no measurements. I have no idea what these blocks measure until I get the thing finished. All I know is that I wanted a 3.5-inch unfinished block, and I got it to do all of this. So now let's go on to the next thing. Any questions? And no, I am how old am I? Let's say I'm an over 70 overachiever, perfectionist that I try to be, and trying to keep up with technology. So I'm not some kind of guru who's taken all these courses. I'm somebody who just has to figure out ways to do things. So I'm a bit of a nerd that way. And I do like perfection, but I don't like to call it perfection. I like to call it accuracy. And if I'm out a little bit, I'm okay. If I'm out a 1/4 inch, then I've really messed up, because this does not mess up a 1/4 inch unless I messed it up in the beginning when I was creating it. So tips and tricks that I've learned along the way. And one of the things is that once I have my stitching templates, I never refer back to them until I go to sew my pieces on. And so what I did in this particular case is I picked out the 3 fabrics that I'm going to use, and I've labeled them A, B, and C. And so I'm classifying, this is my light, this is my medium, and this is my dark. And you can label your pieces that. So I've labeled my pieces. And this one I've already cut out. But I've labeled piece A4 is my medium fabric, and I've labeled it with a B. And again, freezer paper makes a little alphabet-y on there. And I can take it off and iron it back on, and it's going to stick. So I don't get mixed up. I know what I'm using. I didn't press that on because it's on a piece of styrofoam, and I'll melt my styrofoam. So there I have my pieces, and I've sorted my pieces, and I haven't cut these yet. So I'm going to start out with C, and I'm going to try and watch my time here. We're about 45 minutes in. Any questions? No? So I will go on babbling, and you can just listen and chat with yourselves. I'll try to keep an eye on chat, and hopefully we won't have any internet issues or anything. So now I'm going to cut my fabric C. So I have my fabric labeled, and these are the pieces that I'm going to be needing to cut. When I create my pieces in the program, I create them so that when I'm cutting on my fabric, if I'm working with a directional print, everything is right side up. So I don't place a piece on that I'm going to end up that it's cut upside down. So in some of the other videos, just got to turn my big iron on. My little iron decided to die on me. So I got to go and buy another one. I just quit working. So I'll have to use my big iron. because I'm just going to be pressing just to make sure I don't have any folds or anything in the fabric, and if there is, it doesn't matter. Make sure I don't have a selvage on this one. So now I'm going to lay my pieces out, and I tried to avoid bias as much as possible. However, with the freezer paper, bias does not seem to be a concern because the fabric Janine Pfeiffer says, come on in. Oh, I can't remember what I was saying. Anyway, the fabric is stuck to the freezer paper, so it doesn't really stretch. So you don't have to worry about bias. So I have the biggest pieces here, got them laid out, and as long as I put them so I can read what's on here, and it's facing me, I know that that piece has to go like this. But I'll have bias edges here, so I'm not going to do that. I'm going to place it like this, so the bias is along this cut edge. So an example of the way I do this is I will, first of all, press my fabric. And I have two pieces here because I cut strips. I cut strips with what I needed. And I do pre-wash my fabric. I don't use fabric softener. I don't use fabric softener, and I use a it's one of the brands of baby soap. It's a hyperallergenic laundry detergent. And then if I think the fabric needs to be starched or anything, I'll starch it. But I haven't found that I needed to use much starch. So let's put our pieces on. So these are all the pieces I have. So I have two big pieces here, and there's a selvage edge here. And so now, guess who, Nancy? That iron is as big as you. Oh, I got a real heavy one. This is a, what is it, Chi? I don't know, Chi iron? It's titanium ceramic. It's a 1700 watt iron. And yeah, it is a big one. And I don't use it very often, let me tell you, just for pressing large pieces of fabric. So now I'm going to see where my pieces are going to fit. And I did cut strips. I place my fabrics on and say, okay, I need a piece that's that big. This one just happened to be a cutoff that I had. So now I'm just going to place my pieces on, and I'll use my little mini iron, and I'll just press my piece on. What size is it? I don't know. I'd have to measure it. All I know is that when I do my designing, or I don't like to call it designing, I call it creating. And I just put my pieces on, and sorry if my head gets in the way, but I'm just making sure that I've got it lined up a bit. And I can butt them up together, and then I'll just cut in between. It's nice if you're doing scrappy, because then you can take a piece of fabric, figure out if it's the size that you need, and if it fits, it fits. So now, and if it doesn't line up properly or whatever, I can just cut around that when I'm cutting everything out. I try to line up everything as close as I can. And so these are all my C pieces lined up. Now, I don't think I have seen anybody else do this the way I do it. If there is somebody out there that has done it like this, I'd sure like to know where they were when I needed all this help. Deb! Hello, Deb. Nice to have you in. Okay, so all those pieces are done. And now this one, let's see if this fits together. I just want to make sure that my bias edge is going along here. So that one's there. And freezer paper, this is B. Okay, where does B go? Okay, I can read this, I can read this. If it was upside down, I don't want it that way, I want it this way. And again, with the way I put things together and the way I've created this is you don't have to be accurate. How many times have you had to refer back to a pattern and say, what size do I need to cut that again? And then you cut it wrong, and then you have to start all over again. I used to do that. But since I found out that I can do it this way, I don't have any problems like I used to. Now, if I was making more than one block, because I'm placing this with the right side of the fabric facing up, that's the way I've created this. So you always work with the right side of the fabric facing up. So then what I would do is I would just take my pieces, that's all the pieces I need for this one block, and here's my rotary cutter. I would cut that off. And then I would place it with the right side of the fabric up, place my pieces on, and I can cut for more than one block. And I do chain piece when I'm assembling it. And my iron doesn't get hot enough, so I am ironing on my cutting mat. So then that way I can just cut a strip, lay my piece on, however many pieces. I know that if I have, this is for one block, the piece underneath, that's 2 blocks, so I would just stack up as many fabrics as I need. But we're just going to cut for one block for now. And so now I have, where'd my label go? It's on this piece. Okay. And then I just go ahead and once I have my pieces all on, and actually I should show you in my A fabric that I'm using, it is a print. So my pieces are underneath here. And this piece right here looks odd, but I can read it, and so I know that this is the direction that when I place it on, and I'll just do a sample here for you. So now I've got a piece over here. And now this is a neat little trick too, because, and I'm not sure if I have this down exactly the way I want it, because I have only tried it with not very small pieces. So this one we're going to give it a try. This is the piece that I want to cut. So I know that it has to be straight. So this is the way I'm going to cut it on my fabric. Right side of my fabric up, so I know that that's what I'm looking at. I'm not looking at the back. So now, how am I going to know where or what part of this design I want to use? So I'm going to take and just going to get, oh, it's underneath. I've got a little, somewhere, here it is. I've got another little cutting mat that I use for cutting with a different type of a blade. So now I want to know what it's going to look like, what piece I'm cutting out. So there's lines on here, and the black solid line is where I need my piece cut out. This inside line on the very inside is what is going to show when I put the piece together. And if I can find, here we are. I have a little, no, that's not it. Let's get the right one. There we are. I have a little blade here. So I am going to cut 3 sides of this one. And I'm going to cut on that inside, those inside lines. But I'm going to leave one of those lines uncut. So I'm going to make a little window. Oops. And of course, I went off kilter, but that's okay. It's free to paper. If I don't like that, I'll just see there. That's come up, but we can fix that because I just put it on another piece of freezer paper and put sticky side to the smooth side, and my piece is fixed. So I've got one line cut there. I'm not too great at cutting out this way. And the other thing I found is that rulers, acrylic rulers can distort, and unless you're exactly above what you're cutting out, the acrylic kind of gives you a false sense of where you're cutting, because where you think you're cutting, you're not. So you always have to be looking basically right at the ruler, not to one side. So now here, there I have my little opening. And now I want to fold it back on that inside line. And again, another little trick here is this is a piece of template plastic, and maybe I can show you. It has red 1/4-inch grid lines. This I've had for years, and I think I bought it in the artist section of Michaels, and it's acrylic templates, and this one just happened to have the grids of 1/4 inch on, and I use this all the time. I use it for folding my papers, and also when I'm putting my pieces on, it's clear. If you don't have one with a 1/4 inch marking on it, you just grab yourself a piece of any kind of a clear plastic, and using, this is, oh, what is it? I bought it, I like it. It's called Glow Line tape. And it just happens to be a 1/4 inch. Approximately, yeah, a 1/4 inch. So that is a 1/4 inch. So you take some of that onto just a plain piece of clear plastic that maybe you've got a takeout container that's clear. You cut yourself a piece, put a piece of this Glow Line tape on it, and you have your 1/4 inch mark. So when, I'll show you that when I'm putting the pieces together. So now what I'm going to do is take my template plastic, line it up on that one line, and then just take and fold it back. So now I have a little window that this is straight up and down. When I open that little window, I can see exactly what's going to show up when I cut this piece out and sew it in. That's what's going to show up. So if I wanted to, if I didn't want to worry about the direction, I could place it here so I had the bow in the middle, but I decided I'm going to cut it this way. So that's how I get, this is what I call fussy cutting, and that's how I know what's going to show through. And that is why I created this so that the right side of the fabric was facing up, so I could pick out areas. So now on this, I could set it like this, and that is what's going to show. There is no red there, and that's why I had those off-cut pieces like this one here. I decided to use the red area. So if I place this on here, I could put it this way and it would fit on. But my piece is still facing up, so I know that whichever way I turn my fabric, that is what's going to show. So I mean, yes, this piece would fit on, but when I open it up, is that what I want to see in my block? Hi, June Hansen. How you doing? Great to see you. So basically, that's why I designed this, to be able to see exactly what it's going to look like in the block. Okay, so that's that piece. So now I'm not going to keep you much longer. I will, those are basically things that I do just to prepare everything. Any questions? Am I making sense? Am I talking stupid? Oh, one other thing I don't know whether anybody else has found this out, but when I'm cutting with my rotary cutter, now I use a Olfa cutter there, and where's my, I keep losing things. Oh well. This is my A fabric, so we'll put that back on there. I just wanted to have quick question for you, and if you can answer me. You know when your rulers and you're cutting out fabric and you're line up your ruler, and then all of a sudden you start cutting and your ruler shifts and everything, and you put all those sticky things on the back, and you find all sorts of things to try to get the ruler to stay and everything. I just discovered something with my rotary cutter, and I'm not sure if I'm holding it wrong or whether anybody else has the problem. So I'm going to cut this out, and I'm going to leave this strip because I can use it. And I keep all scraps. But this is my bag of scraps. This is the only scraps I have. Everything else is all usable fabric. Even this I could have saved. But my daughter, oh yes, and that's the other thing. My daughter does junk journals. So she takes my scraps and picks out whatever she needs to make her junk journals. She is close to the 1,000 subscribers. And she's doing a giveaway. So if there's any, she does junk journals, and she's got videos up of card baking. Her channel is Crafting Through the Chaos of Life with Shala Frank. And if anybody is interested in doing junk journals, or even getting a hold of somebody who likes cutoffs or whatever like that for junk journals, if you'd like to slip over there and now can I put it in chat? Okay, this is new for me here because I'll get back to this in a minute. No, I guess Barb Olson is here. Barb is a very close neighbor. She lives in the same city. We have never met, but she's on a lot of channels in the chat. Hey, how are you liking the weather, Barb? Okay. I'm just typing in here. See if I'm making any spelling mistakes. Whoops. And when she reaches 1,000 subscribers, she's going to be doing a giveaway. Guess I better hit enter, right? There. So yes, it's Crafting Through the Chaos of Life with Shala Frank. And that's my daughter, close to 1,000 subscribers. Yeah, Barb says the weather is crummy, but it could be worse. I agree. Yeah, it has been worse. Crazy Calgary weather. Anyway, where was I? Promoting my daughter's channel, and it's okay, we have to cut. So when I'm cutting out my pieces, I will save this piece here. So I'll just line my ruler up, and remember, it doesn't have to be accurate. Now, when I was cutting with my rotary cutter, I was cutting like this. And when I have to put a lot of pressure on, my ruler kept slipping. And I have put on the back of my rulers, I put those grips on and everything. And it still slipped. But I have found, and I don't know whether anybody else has found this out, is that when I line that up to cut, instead of holding my rotary cutter like this and trying to cut, if I hold it up at an angle like this, which probably is hard on my wrist, but if I hold it straight up, I don't know if you can see that very good, but if I hold it straight up and put pressure on, my ruler doesn't slip. Now, okay, stop. Blue screen. Let's try this, get rid of that. There. Sorry about that. And I don't know whether that's something I do or if anybody else has had that issue. Please let me know if when you're using a rotary cutter like this, if it makes a difference with your ruler slipping. I'll just do another cut here. Line that up between. And again, instead of going like this, I'm going to hold my rotary cutter up. Oh, thank you, Gladys. Thank you so much. I think she's less than, I'd say less than 15 away from reaching that 1,000. So there I've done my cut. But again, I found that I get better cutting if I hold this type of rotary cutter in that direction. Now, I don't even have to trim that little white piece off. It's not going to affect the, when I go to put it together. I am going to trim this little piece off here because it's just a little way too out. But I don't have to cut accurate. And again, I'm using my small ruler, and if I cut this way, my ruler doesn't slip. Now, to get my two pieces, I will cut in between, line my ruler up, I think I need a new blade. And that's the way I cut things out. Oh, you're kidding, Barb. 999? Oh, she's going to be so excited. Oh, goodness. Darlene and everyone, thank you so much. She was feeling a little down because she actually started her YouTube channel much longer than I've been on. And I've reached, I think, 1,300 subscribers, and she didn't reach the 1,000. So she's going to be so excited. Oh, and her birthday's coming up on April the 21st. And she, like I said, she's doing a subscriber giveaway, and she's got a box, a postal box, and it's everything, whatever she can put in there for that. Oh, you're kidding. Oh. She's at, is she at work? Yes, she's at work. Today is what, Thursday? Yes, she, oh, thank you so much, everyone. Oh, and please don't unsubscribe. Oh, just don't turn on notifications. Oh, that's wonderful. She has been trying to get there for so long. Oh, thank you, you guys. That is going to make her so happy. Yeah, you don't make much on YouTube as far as uh, money-wise. But since I've started, I think I've made $200. And I mean, $200 is better than a kick in the head, right? It's given me, like, I can buy a spool of thread. I really don't buy that much fabric, only if it's absolutely necessary. Oh, oh, you guys, thank you. Um, oh, yes, now the other thing is half square triangles. Um, Half square triangles, flying geese. You hate those? I used to. Now I don't worry about half square triangles and flying geese. Now we're going to take a look at one of these here. Now the way this would be constructed is there's odd shapes. This is in this section right here, it's a quarter square triangle with a strip and that. Now, you really have to, Nanamona says now to go back and watch. Oh, anyway, with half square triangles, probably the quilting companies are going to really hate me because I do not own a half square triangle ruler. I don't own any specialty rulers because the way I do it, you don't need any specialty rulers. It all works out. And I can, if I don't have to buy all those rulers and things, I can spend more money on fabric. But that's something that, yeah, and there's so many rulers out there. Oh, and that was one of my problems too, that when I started with quilting, it was like, okay, I'm making half square triangles, and Lord love a duck, which ruler should I get? I had no idea. So I didn't buy one, and I used my trusty old OmniGrid and used the diagonal lines, which was not accurate at all. When I line things up, of course, because the acrylic ruler can distort where you line things up. So I didn't buy one, and now I'm glad I didn't, because I don't need them. I actually don't need them. So, ruler makers, I'm sorry, but I prefer accuracy over paying for a ruler that I'm not getting the same results as. Okay, we have been on for an hour and 18 minutes, so I hope you enjoyed the little thing I've been blabbing about. I am going to go ahead and cut out all my pieces, and Barb says the only specialty ruler she has is a Dresden plate. Yeah, I don't even have one of those. I cut out I cut out a piece of template plastic, and then the Dresden plates. I do have some Dresden plates, but no problem, Barb. But yeah, I just used a piece of template plastic, and because this has a 1/4 inch mark, I could measure what they told to cut. It was from, oh, she's got really short blonde hair, and I can't remember her name. Oh, no matter. But anyway, yeah, Barb, the template plastic you can buy at. I got mine in Michaels. I used to work for Michaels. Michaels in the where you get the um, drafting supplies. Um, and this one's gridded. You can buy this. They're called applique, or it's just template plastic. Yeah, Yvette was. Yeah, Barb says Yvette. Yvette Renee was the one who got me started on foundation paper piecing. But no, I don't buy any special foundation paper or anything. And I just use the freezer paper because I can use it over and over again and I don't have to pull the papers out. But yeah, this was found it's in the art department, but it's in where the drafting supplies and drafting rulers are. And they might have the 1/4 inch gridded where I got this. This I bought years ago. And trust me, I have so many craft supplies from Michael's that you'd be amazed. So what I would do is I will go ahead, finish cutting my fabric pieces out, and I will be back in the next video. In the next video, to have it all cut out, and then we'll construct it. And when will that be? Hopefully, maybe I can do one tomorrow. My health and my body sort of dictate everything when I try to do things. And I watch an awful lot of YouTube. And that's where I saw everyone was so frustrated about cutting things the wrong way, cutting out the wrong size. And it's like, how can you make a mistake cutting out a piece if you've got it like this? And I don't follow the directions in the pattern. I don't have to keep referring back to the pattern. I just know by the way I've created the pieces, I can just sit down, cut it out, and I don't have, or rarely have a cutting mistake unless I put the wrong piece on the wrong piece of fabric. And then it's not a big deal because it's just one piece. And if I cut them all out wrong, it's just a different look of the block. And I'll move on. So I'll cut those pieces out. And yes, I announced a long time ago where I was doing a giveaway for my 1,000 subscribers. Well, I was only accepting entries from the people who came on the live and commented. And then I would have a list of all the comments. I haven't given away. And because I started out at $50 for the giveaway, a gift certificate, it's open worldwide, $50 gift certificate, and I have all the names. However, haven't drawn for it yet. So, and what I'm thinking of doing is, I have raised it now to $60, you know. I feel $10, I can add $10 more on. So it's now $60. So anyone who comes on the live and leaves a comment when the video is live will have their name entered. And since I announced it, I have a whole list of names. Now, all you need to do is comment once. You don't have to participate in the chat. Just you don't have to participate in the chat. All you have to do is make one comment and your name will be entered. I do check, though, to make sure you're a subscriber because I have subscriber mode on. And I will check because there's so many trolls and everything out there. So come on alive. And that's the way I'll be doing giveaways from now on. It may only be like a $10 gift card to wherever. You'll probably have your choice. But so right now the one is for $60. When I do the lives, I will take a list of the comments, and your name will be entered in once. And when I decide that I've made enough money off of YouTube to give out some more, I will just pop on and say, hey, I took all your names down in the comments from the comments on the live, and so is the lucky winner, and that's the way I'll do it. That way I know that the person who is entering has participated in my channel, and I've kind of neglected my knitting, but I'm finding this more fun. Not only that, but it's much more fun than house cleaning. At least I think so. Now, I guess probably I should, before, I should let you see me again. There I am. I was in the corner. And yes, I put Shirley in the corner. So yes, and Yvette Renee, I was so blessed to win one of her giveaways for her 10,000 subscribers, and that is what got me on my journey with foundation paper piecing. And by the way, if once I get find a way to put the images into a PDF file that I can share with you, I will do that. So if you're interested in making this block, that you will have everything you need to do it the same way I do. And I would like to know, once I put up a block that somebody can try out, no charge right now, I would like to know if anyone else finds this as easy and less frustrating than regular piecing, which I still do. I struggle with it a lot more than that, but I'd like your feedback on it. And they're basic blocks that I'm doing so that it's something that you don't have to make a lion or whatever it is. You can use what I teach you or what I do to make things that you're going to make a quilt from. So if anyone has any questions, you can leave them in the comment below the video. And oh, Barb, you're missing so much. But yes, if you would like to, you can be one of my first testers. And I welcome the feedback to see if there's something that I've missed. I've tried to deal with every situation that I've had that I find tedious, and how to make it easier and more accurate. Sometimes it comes out perfect, but that's rare. But I mean, with the way I've done things, I have found that I can be not a quarter of an inch out, not an eighth of an inch out, and not even a 16th of an inch out. I am usually a 32nd or a 64th out, that nobody's going to notice that. Oh, Kathy, thank you very much. I appreciate your input. Oh, Barb, the pressure is on. Yes. You're my guinea pig. Oh, sorry. My pattern tester. Yeah, and Kathy, maybe some of the things that you have issues with uh, can help. Can help you. The other thing is that this is not. Um, don't get in your mind that. Well, I guess what I should say is forget about everything that you've learned about paper piecing. Um, uh, because this is, I created this to use um, right side of the fabric up. And I'm mainly focusing on quilt blocks that are free. They're not copyrighted or whatever. And I'm not selling the pattern. I'm not whatever. I'm just showing you a different way to construct it than cutting out and doing half square triangles, flying geese, etc., etc. So I only work with free patterns, or not patterns. Patterns can be copyrighted and everything, blocks. So a block can be anything. So anyway, I've babbled on enough, and I should let everyone go. I'm sure that dinner time is pretty much around the corner. It is for me. It is 4:37, 4:38. So, sorry, 4:36. And thank you everyone for coming, and thank you so much for helping my daughter out. She is going to be so excited. So hopefully she can stick that 1,000 and get even more. And oh, Nanamona, it's not hard at all. It is easy. Believe me, once you try it, and anyone who wants to try it, just leave me a comment below this video, and I will try my best to get you information or get you the pieces, and you can try it for yourself and see what you think. And I'd love the feedback, good or bad. Love the feedback. So we shall say goodbye for now, and we'll see you all in the next video, and I hope you'll come back. Bye-bye. Now I got to figure out how to end this.